Hi everyone, Day here, and so is Laylee. And welcome back to my The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Let's Play. So in today's episode, I don't know how close we're getting to the end of this trial, but I feel like we're getting very, very close to making a very pivotal breakthrough. Which is why Laylee decided to join me today. I don't know how long she will be there, but we'll see. We'll see. She's hanging in there right now. So we're going to continue where we left off. We were coming towards a very serious question we had to answer. And that is, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? What do you think, Laylee? Should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify, or should we leave well enough alone? You know what? We came all this way. We're not going to let Von Zeeks get his way. As much as I do adore the guy as prosecutor, we want Mr. McGilded to at least come up to the stand and speak his side of the story. So, well, not to say so to speak, but yeah. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. We need more information. We literally just generally need more information. That is literally the key here. He's raising his arm. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
This poor man thought that everything was going smoothly until all of a sudden it wasn't. And he just has not been able to get back on his feet. I'm sorry. Laylee. I knew Laylee wouldn't stick around for too much longer. Let me see. How about if I put you there? That's fine. If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Get the man out here, I say.
He literally just stabbed that desk. I feel like he's gonna have to pay charges for it, but who knows? Maybe it'll come out of government pay or something. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. Okay, you jurors are sounding like real jurors now. I appreciate it. Except for the first one. The first one, I don't know. He's just floundering over there. He needs his drugs.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
If there is anyone I respect the most out of everyone we've heard from today, it's Juror number 5. Juror number 5 is a man of upstanding value and integrity. And it sucks that Beppo kind of like maybe blemished the reputation of his company, but hopefully not, because he is a fine, upstanding gentleman, and he definitely deserves to be called a gentleman. Lily agrees. Lily approves. Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say, oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. So, therefore, to act as if I'm the leader of this whole band of misfits, I agree with what they have said.
Basically.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Ryunosuke is looking so much like a true defense attorney, and I love it so much. Look at him. He's so reminiscent of Phoenix. Like, at first I didn't really see it. Well, from the box art, I would say I didn't really see it. I don't know why, because looking at him like this, I totally see Phoenix, 100%. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Okay.
Let proceedings be resumed. Miss McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure, have, my lord. There and now, well, his voice was more, to be sure, I have, my lord, or something like that. I don't know, I gave him more so an Irish accent because of the slang he's using. Mind you, I know that's probably being very stereotypical. I have to differentiate voices the best way I can because I am only one person and I am not a voice actress.
There are now 2 matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense.
He's going to say he was asleep. I guarantee he will say he was asleep.
The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Begad, no. 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous or not? Or keep my mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGildet? The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the north with myself and the other man, there was another passenger. Why would you not say... And this is the man that said he could totally, 100%, irrefutably defend himself and do all the talking. Ay, ay, ay.
It's true?
I don't believe a word he's saying anymore. I can't. Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. Oh, it's a child. Never mind. Never mind. He's back aboard. He's back aboard being the good guy trade. I really need to stop judging this guy. You. What? I mean, it makes sense. If it was a kid, he wouldn't want the kid to get wrapped up in all this. It makes sense.
No, Magnus McGildet. That convenient excuse can't save me now.
I'm truly sorry, so I am. Lord Von Ziggs. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And not in any way involved, you see.
What?
The whole time the jury was speaking, not the jury, the witnesses were speaking, they never once mentioned that the person sitting next to the deceased was a child. If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. And it was a girl? There was no way. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. I mean, it makes sense, but what doesn't make sense is the witnesses' testimonies. In comparison.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That, I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the coach that night. I never saw her before. Well, since...
Objection!
He's going to say this is getting a little too convenient. Because I'm starting to feel that way too. Like, I'm kind of swayed by the prosecution at this point.
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witnesses' statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What? Ah, smoke! Oh, fire! There's a fire!
Like someone's trying to get away! It must be them!
It's no use! I couldn't say it didn't through all the smoke!
What is going on? I had to read, but trust me, I was lost, and I wanted to take a second to take it all in. What is happening? Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face. What is going on? Sorry, Laylee. You don't deserve to be manhandled like that. There you go. Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess.
What is going on?
Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
How very, very intriguing. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. Well, we're not going to have any 11-minute video, so we're going to carry on for a little while. Even if it's just a little longer. I'm not going to save it. Just in case I have to re-record, like if something goes wrong. I don't want it to just be a broken mess in the middle. 18th February, 12:52 p.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? I don't know. Your guess will be 100% better than anything I could ever come up with. I'm sure. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Mr. Sato! I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade. A type of exploding device that releases smoke.
I don't think I said advanced. If I did, well, I misheard my own self. A smoke grenade? It sounded like the sort of thing ninjas use. This is not Naruto. Get your head out of the clouds, Ryunosuke.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But why did it happen? But who would have done something like that? And why is the better question. Nothing happens in a video game for no reason. Nothing happens in a movie or a TV show or a book for no reason. Like, it's part of the plot, okay? It's part of the plot.
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why? It was a little girl, wasn't it? Instead of paying for the defense attorney, he paid the girl off, didn't he? To throw off a smoke bomb or some junk. I don't know. Flee the courtroom, why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
Yeah, he paid her off. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. I still don't understand why the smoke bomb had to go off. There is so much I don't understand in this case. It's not really fully coming together. I don't know. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. Where is he? Like, we still don't get a chance to speak to the guy and get more information. We got bare bones information at the very beginning of this trial.
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer some questions, along with the young girl.
So Von Zeeks, someone who most likely had a little bit more time than we did with him, gets to question him even further. Absolutely freaking fantastic. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at this trial? She was taking a huge risk. And for what possible benefit to herself? He paid her off. For what? I don't know the why. But the fact that she was here, I don't know. It's just so much that doesn't make sense. Did she kill the man? I don't think so. I thought he said he took a nap on the omnibus, but maybe he didn't. And I'm getting things a little confused.
There's another matter that's troubling me.
I thought he said he did, but what's that?
The 20 pence.
Oh, 20 pence.
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo.
Oh, that's 20 pence. I'm like, I'm like, what are you talking about now? Because it's like there's it's like a few different types of currency floating around in here.
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo.
Okay.
He took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each.
Since when were you taking notes on this? That it would be in this book? What kind of book is this? Is it a journal? Or is it actually like just an olden day book that you found? I'm a little lost as to the nature of this book. It has everything in it. Everything.
That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
She's right. That is strange.
Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl would be asked to take the stand and testify now.
So convenient.
I really can't imagine what she's gonna say, but it could alter the whole direction of this trial.
We need her if she was there. Well, no soon enough, Miss Usato. It's just not adding up. They never mentioned they saw a woman sitting next to the victim. So that means she would also have been someone sitting next to him. It's just not, it's a lot that's not adding up. At all.
Yes.
I wish I knew in which way, but here's hoping we get some sort of information. 18th February, 1 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. I was going to say number. They're usually numbered in Ace Attorney, like Phoenix and stuff. Oh, she is dressed like a boy, I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe I was thinking about like another Miss Swan type from the first case. I love her outfit though. Like I would totally rock that. Green is my favorite color, so I would definitely rock what she's wearing right now. I love it. Like I can never find like the pieces that she's wearing in stores. But I would wear it. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Possibly.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Von Zieks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke, which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught.
Oh, she was just doing it to escape. Why come to... It still doesn't add up. Why come to the court at all if you were worried about being called?
It now occupies the stand.
I might be thinking way too deeply into things, but that's just how I'm viewing it right now.
Your name, girl?
Sasha.
Are you responsible for the smoke grenade, which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom?
He didn't say he said my courtroom. He's really teased off.
What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded.
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why, it is that this Willas was here in the first place, and why she tried to bet like that. Why does he have all the answers? Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in this case.
Von Zeeks knows this is some kind of ploy, and I'm actually on his side. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. I know he's being sarcastic because we 100% do need that information and should have already had it. We were just thrust into this though. Witness testimony. The young girl. Well, the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Okay, he did go to sleep. This whole time I'm like, maybe I illusioned that point. But no, he did. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with the first thought. Begorra? Is that a real word? Or is that just like some kind of sound effect he made up? There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a board, hiding her wee self away. So he is saying that someone was hiding in that secret compartment that we claim no one could hide in. See, I'm doing better with keeping up with information.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, my lord. The 5th? Oh. This case is just getting really wonky.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no... Why did he have to start looking off into the distance? I have no idea where to start. Like, why, Ryunosuke, why? He said yes. Actually, no. I have no idea. This is great. This is great writing. Cross-examination. I love the stained glass look. Like, assorted stained glass attack, basically. The young girl. Sorry I'm rocking. Like I said, that's just something I do. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Let's question it. Because I knew he was asleep. It's just that it feels like that's been glossed over up until now. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. Or either, is how he probably would say it. You were the first passenger?
Oh, you were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the back seat as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? The one furthest away from the driver is what I was gathering, but sure. By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable, and where I feel more at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. I don't know, this guy looks so shifty. I mean, Matt and Gar didn't look too shifty to me. But I remembered his name, by the way, Mask the Mask. I was screaming at myself when I was reviewing that video. I'm like, when I'm recording, a lot of stuff just shoots right out of my mind. I may have known it at one point, but then I'm just like in the middle of all this and trying to remember everything, and it just disappears. Hold it! A loud thud, you say, and a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? But oh no, you remembered I was asleep at the time. so I wouldn't like to say. How conveniently convenient. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream.
Oh, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume.
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. Why would she scream if you had to be sitting on the chair that she was in? I don't know. There was a fellow collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me. Oh, wait. No, we need to go back to that statement. I don't want to read that yet.
Hold it!
Let's press. You set him up. The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. Could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? I've never been in that scenario, but I don't think I would be strong enough to even touch the body, so. Not if I figured there was like nothing I could do. I don't know. That's kind of hard to say, but I wouldn't just lift the body up and just like casually rearrange them in their seating. That's not something I would do. 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Oh, Lord Von Ziegs, now why would that be?
You wait to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. Like I said, I'm kind of on Von Zieg's side. I don't find it to be a bad question. Or a bad line of questioning, rather.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offered him. Them, and some would even see me dead. So I did try, but at all possible to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Well, he did say that he set him up right, so, I guess he did his bit. Heavens alive, no. I was already intended to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? I kind of like the way he talks, though. Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to the meddling. You didn't steal from him, did you? Criminy. You didn't steal from him, I hope. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, caught up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. We might as well click on this one. I don't think that previous statement will lead us to too much of anything, because it kind of like run-on sentence into this one. You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. Ugh, you're really overreacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and set her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. This guy is sounding more and more shady. So you picked this guy up. You picked someone who was unconscious up. And set him up, right? Found this random girl. and plopped her next to what I suppose you may have assumed even then was a dead body. You have, like, no consideration whatsoever for doing that. Thank you. I love when the game kind of, like, says exactly what I was thinking. You set this young girl next to a corpse, sir. And again, bravo, judge, for actually paying attention to being aware of what's going on here. Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. He still set her next to a dead body. Let's not actually just gloss over that detail. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. So now he's trying to say that the people on the roof peeked in at that particular instance and saw her and the dead body, basically. Presumably, that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again. I will say it, sir. How would you know which one it was that screamed when they can't see you and you can't see them? It could have very well been Mr. Fairplay. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and a gentleman with a knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGirded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. Can she not speak? Is she a mute? I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. Interesting.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature and readily confused, perhaps, with his young girl.
After that, of course. With a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo. Being the defendant's lawyer, and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at his testimony? Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. This game is beautifully made. I love it. Cause I feel just as confused. Let's just say it's trying. I love how he's speaking as if this is like his maybe like fifth case and not just like his first case going it alone type thing. He's never had to have this kind of information, not even on himself, you know? So it's an interesting take.
We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGirded before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must just try to learn all the facts we can.
When we arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this. That's a new post.
Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling, even in your head.
How did you know? That's definitely a new post. For the night in question, I took the back seat. Okay, I have to press this one sentence, because this is the one I didn't press. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is... What do you mean by that? Well, now, just a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you excuse the vulgar expression, under my backside. That's the vulgar expression. I thought this was going to be something ridiculously crazy.
Good gracious.
Well, Judge finds it to be ridiculously crazy, so I amend my statement. Never mind, Ryunosuke does too. I guess I'm just a little, I guess I'm a little loose in the mindset of things. It's being born in the late 1990s. Well, in the 1990s, it was not the late 1990s. And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found that it was a wee cubby hole there for storage.
Mr. Naruhodo, We can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence.
This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside.
And that's when I found her.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind.
So I did have to press out the statements.
However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
I say she's the pawn. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, and her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. She's a pickpocket. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What? This girl here, a petty thief.
Well, she does have a bag.
Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade?
Or Lestrade.
Miss Lestrade, you answer the question.
Oh my! That caught me 100% off guard. I'm like, is that a gun?
Ah! How dare you? What is the meaning of this?
So she definitely shot the smoke grenade. Probably with that gun.
The girl, she's gone.
Open your eyes. Oh. Over here. She's gonna be a tough one. I'm over here. I'll figure it out.
Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little sidestep? Just to show off that she's a pickpocket with extreme speed, which is how she is very successful at her job. I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. Just that little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't? No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast. Oh, she just hit you with a dirty sting grenade by the looks of it. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. Oh, this? Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drugs. That's nice, isn't it? I like the paint bust.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Every time I see Von Zeeks make himself a glass of wine, I lose it. Absolutely lose it. Especially when it happens after something like that. Where things seem to be going like crazy and he's just like, well, time to pour me a glass.
So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question.
That's alright, Les. Don't tell them the truth now. See, I feel like he paid her or some nonsense. She listens to what he's saying. He's leading the conversation. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irish. Oh, he is Irish. It's just like the Irishman said. Interesting. I mean, I could kind of tell by the way his speech was written, but it's nice that it kind of like actually flowed that way.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please.
Gina.
You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night of question.
Alright, if I have to. I still like her outfit a lot. girl saw. So I snuck aside the carriage before they looked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitching now. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of me skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. Did help me get away, mine.
Man, she has a thicker accent than he does. There's no way. Yes, he let you go. Like I said, I am not a professional voice actress. If you are here for that reason, I don't know why you didn't click off as soon as you heard me utter the first sentence. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. He had fell over already, is where he's saying. I was sitting right on top. Oh, yeah. I even mentioned that. I don't know. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume. Yes, we opened it earlier. Yes. It just appeared just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. I didn't realize a human could fit in there at all, but yeah. But of course, I realized I was stuck in there because I'd put myself on the seat for the duration. Ah. So you see, that's why I left the last boat. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a long life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question? Not at all, my lord. Not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate loss.
My goodness.
What a perfect gentleman.
My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
With calm, collected reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
They're still making rash decisions. I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm saying that they are just personally making another case of rash decisions, which is still no good. Like, okay, he let the girl go because he knew that she didn't do it. Okay, we get that. But we still have testimony to analyze. Slow down. Wait a second.
Saints alive!
Huh.
All 6 members of the jury consensual and they're leaning to a verdict of not guilty.
Mr. Naruhodo, it must mean
It must mean what?
that we're victorious.
We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh my goodness! What in the world? Laylee, you shouldn't see this, because this is just too much.
If the sight of my unhealed Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy.
can't help it. I like this guy more and more and more. I can't help but like him. Gina was literally like about to fall over. Oh my goodness, he literally high kicked his leg onto this table. That is, wow. Okay, that's way better than got it. Just like drinking a whole bunch of coffee, like chugging it. Oh my goodness. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. And this is why he retired, isn't it? Like, it could lean one way or the other, is what he's basically getting at. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotions rule the day. Is this not what I just said? They made another rash decision. We still had testimony to analyze, and they just automatically were like, hey, look, I hear exactly what he's saying. I'm going to play off of that emotion that there's no way we got the wrong man. Click, boom, innocent. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. Okay. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGillicuddy's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? That's what the smoke bomb was about. Because I remember Von Zeke saying, guard the omnibus. Order! Order! It just corroborates with my story that she was he paid her to falsify evidence, maybe? How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, Consul? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. It wasn't. Because I remember Ryunosuke mentioned how there was stuff in there and that's why a person couldn't fit in there. I could verify that too, but I don't know if that's video game logic possible. Normally, if you don't have the right information, it's going to be like impossible to prove anything. Well, my Nipponese friend. Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Hey, this is a game of memory, Ryunosuke. Or I guess it could be a little bit... Oh, to be sure. The young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry. Go ahead. Now that I'm thinking about it, this guy is looking more and more guilty now. Every time I come to... if I'm going to have this webcam, there's going to be something you need to know. When I get to a logical thought process that just feels like it's getting crazy, I start like tearing up for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not sad. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm like, wow, yeah, eureka. This is actually the right line of logic now type thing. He must really be guilty. Because of the fact that, that seat compartment had the stuff under it. I saw it with my own eyes. Like, I really did. I know I saw it with my own eyes, and that means she was never on this bus to begin with, is what I'm gathering. She's just working for him in some way. Like, maybe they knew each other outside of all this.
Go ahead, you're to the court now, fella. How this is an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Von Zeeks.
I really don't like the way this case is going.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? I didn't look, lie. It was empty, lie. It wasn't empty. I'm sorry. It wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause. I think I might have just chosen the wrong answer, but I know it's the right answer because I know, Laylee. We're not gonna lie. We didn't lie. At least not right now. We didn't lie. But we may be forced to do so depending on where this route takes us. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, counsel?
Be whist!
What are you saying now, you duff daw? I thought you were on my side here.
He really did it, didn't he? I thought... What is going on here?
What game are you playing? The task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position?
As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting.
I feel like that's a little bit of approval. I like Von Zeeks. See, the thing is, I was like, as much as it might benefit our case to get him off, I'm not trying. I don't know. I just feel like always being honest is the way that these games go at some point. I do want to know what happens if you press the other option, though. Oh, my spider senses are tingling to go that route.
Tis not altogether pleasing, fella.
I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded.
Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing, not altogether reliable. Now the court must consider the facts. That there cubby hole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is.
Empty as the devil's heart?
Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken?
What we see now versus what we saw then. It had to be like... Because the thing is, if I've never examined that seat, which maybe I'm sure there's quite a few people that wouldn't if they're not really like interested in doing a lot of examinations and stuff, it's possible that when you saw that, that's truly, you know, it would have been the right answer to you. It would have been like, yeah, it was completely empty the whole time. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I've been feeling like that since before the case started. I've literally been on edge about this whole case since before the case started. And I just want to say, to the Japanese Capcom team that you guys did a freaking good job. I mean, the American or whichever localization team did a great job at translating it, but the original script was there, and thanks in part to them. So the fact that I felt uneasy, I mean, I know that a lot of Japanese words had to be translated properly into the English format, which, yeah, I also thank the localization team for keeping that feel. Because this whole case has, from the very beginning, made me feel weird. Like, I never wanted to agree with the guy. Sadly, I think I'm gonna have to end this episode here. As much as I don't want to, if I was like streaming this, that would be a different story, but I'm not. So I'm gonna have to cut this because it's going on to an hour. It's getting so good though. Oh my gosh, I don't want to stop, but I have to. Well, Laylee says thanks for stopping by and watching with me. And until next time, we're going to... Alright, Laylee says bye. Bye-bye. We're going to put you over here. But yeah, so this case is getting ridiculous. I know I do that. I know I press my face a lot when things are getting heated, but it's like, what in the world? What is going on in this case? Well, we're gonna find out next time. Hopefully next time. It feels like the next video will be the last video. Like, it feels like we're very close to the end of this case. That we're just about to come on to a breakthrough. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait until next time. So thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it, you guys, so much for watching and following along. Laylee is also thankful that you guys were here for this particular episode. Laylee will most likely be back. Possibly. It's up to Laylee, you know, if Laylee feels like it. But until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye.